Hey, 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 welcome back to the Virgo Channel. Hey, Ben, Sun Wolf, and everyone. I'm sorry it's been a crazy day of me running around. I'm going to do a general message for whoever that lands on it, but I'm actually also doing a reading for my winner. So you might resonate with it, you may not resonate with it. Um, Energy's fluid, roles could be reversed, you know, take the message as it best resonates. However, as I said, I had an intention to do a reading for my winner. Um, and if you're new to my channel, I like to do soul readings, and my readings are deep, which means that I look at everything. I look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and we see how they play out as karmic themes. We don't just look at what goes on the surface, because if a person has spiritual blocks, they have behaviorisms and habits that are sabotaging, that, what they really feel is not usually what they do. A person that has shadows. Hey, Elmira. Hey, I just saw your message really fast about you missing the coaching. It's totally fine. I'm gonna start to do them a little bit more often, just because one time a week really isn't a lot. I'm waiting for my winner. She's I'm doing a reading for her. Again, I try to do readings, but like I said, you may resonate. Hey, Gloria. I said, you may resonate with this, you may not, energy is fluid. So I'm just setting up, um, setting up the cards, because I've been running. I haven't stopped today. I mean, literally, you could tell by the way I look. Okay. It's like we're pushing it to the limit here. All right, we're going to see. So, again, those of you that are new to the channel, or anyone that catches this live stream after, I like to go deep within the readings. So, the reading's a little bit longer. So, let's just take a peek and let's see what's going on. Now, if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, again, you have to be open to getting a shadow reading. You also have to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word of the video in your comment bar. The word of the video is always the underlining energy that tells me why everyone's doing what they're doing, especially when we're dealing with a person that has a lot of shadows, a person that has sabotaging behaviors. We want to know. And the reason why we want to know is because when you're dealing with someone that's very wounded, it makes us feel a certain way. And so nothing and no one's supposed to be able to make us feel a negative way. So again, that's why it's seen as a karmic connection, because they're showing you a different perception. And that's what karma really is. It's learn. We associate learn with bad, with pain, because again, you learn the most with pain. You don't forget it. But understand there's many realities that play out at one time. So part of this reading, I will also give you advice, because again, there's spiritual imbalances that come out as behaviorisms. And that is going to prevent you from actually obtaining what it is that you want. As well as, if you don't learn the spiritual lesson, you keep repeating it. It's a situation that keeps happening, and it keeps you stuck in a limited perception about yourself. So this is what we got to do. Hello, Andrea. Hello, everybody. And then I also said that after I would open the floor up. The floor, listen to me, the floor, like this is the floor. But if anyone like has questions or whatever, but right now I'm going to do my reading. I don't think she's here yet. I think her name, I don't want to lie, I think it's Angel. I could be wrong. I'm trying to can't remember her name, but I figured she would come on and say, hey, I'm here, to let me know. All right, let's see what the underlining word of the video is. And that is stubbornness. Stubbornness. So I feel like the underlining energy, hey, sunny day, is you're connected to somebody that's very stubborn. And the irony is that they feel like they definitely met their match with you. So I feel like for a long time, nothing's been happening between you and this person. You're like, okay, like make a move, do something. And this person is like, no, you make a move, you do something. And so I do feel like it's a very strong spiritual connection because obviously two people wouldn't last very long being stubborn. But because there's a spiritual connection, it means that it's like either a soulmate, twin flame, or it's a past life karmic. It's a very strong, again, soul tie, ESP connection between heart and mind. And I feel like both parties have very similar spiritual blocks. That doesn't mean that they're channeled out the same way. It doesn't mean that, again, your behaviorisms are the same as this person's behaviorisms, especially if you've done healing. But you're in connection with someone that's stubborn, which this sucks. And I'm going to tell you why. Because this is like Mexican standstill energy. It's like no one's doing anything. And in the fact that no one's doing anything, oh, by the way, this is the word of the video that you're going to put in the comment bar. But because no one's doing anything, it's like you're like kind of disappointed. And you're also seeing like your person is really kind of selfish because you're like, yo, I didn't do anything wrong. Like, I have a reason why I'm stubborn. I have a reason why you were not respectful to me. You did not do right by me. So I have a right. You don't have a right. But you don't want to form a real relationship. You like attachments. That's what you like. It's like it's either you are like they're either an all or nothing type of person. And so the attachment is it's all. It's like I own you. You don't really I'm not really concerned about your needs, your wants, though I do care about you. It's a very like narcissistic, and why I say that is because it's obsession. And it's obsession when there's attachment, right? And so I feel like because this person wants to dominate the relationship, that's again the energy. Again, whenever someone's stubborn, it's because they're saying, like, I want things my way, right? But at the cost of the relationship, which is why you're disappointed. You're like, wow, like I thought that I like meant more to you than that. Like you're not even willing to open to discuss. And I feel like this person has avoidant issues. But we're going to see again more wounds and then some of your triggers, obviously, and then what this person's going to do or what they think. Sometimes you're not going to do anything. Sometimes the reading is all like spiritual. It's fucked up that way. It's like, like you're like, what did I get out of this? And it's like, well, there is spiritual knowledge when it's like that. When there's definitely something that you need to learn. So again, unaware. So it's like I feel like this person is not really intuitively that can't like read you and they're not confident as they want you to believe. There's someone that is not confident, so they're not really aware of what to do. They're not, you know they have feelings, but I don't think that they've ever had a connection quite like this before, one that's again so strong in the mind, right, which goes against with someone that's selfish. It's all again all in their head. It's not the emotions. There's its connection. When it's ESP is connection of heart and mind. So there's a very strong emotional connection, which the person that actually doesn't really know what to do, with that emotional connection. Because like I said, they're used to either really liking someone a lot and being obsessed almost, or not liking the person at all. There's no balance, which is why they have to have things their way, which is why they want to dominate. Because whenever it's like that, it's like such an intense connection that's so emotional. A person is not emotionally intelligent. Well, it's again, they don't first of all, it's going to bring up every single wound that they have of insecurity, because I like you, and liking you and every little thing that you do, I'm going to read into it and perceive. So unless you're falling all over this person and chasing this person, they're not going to really think that you even like them. This person's not on a high vibration because, again, they're not emotionally intelligent. And the irony is that they have an emotional connection with you. And now you're like, well, what the fuck? You don't do anything for me. You act like I'm not even around. You act like I don't even exist. And the reason why is because they're like, well, I don't know what to do. And it's like, I feel out of tune. Like I got one arm longer than the other. I feel awkward. This person feels inadequate. And it is because they are inadequate. So unless they have a low vibe person, they're like, I don't really know what to do with this like connection. It makes me feel uncomfortable. And here you are, you're like, well, what the fuck? Why do you you're making me feel like it's something with me? It's like, because I see like they can have relationship with someone that they don't care about, that there's no emotional from what you see that they can have a relationship. They don't act like it's a problem. Well, it's because they don't get overstimulated. When a person is insecure and they don't really feel right and they feel awkward, not tuned, remember this person overcompensates within their behaviorism to act as if they're overly confident. That's not their true self. The true self is, again, I don't know what to do. I'm unaware. I feel like this is an awkward situation. I don't know what to do about it, And of course, I'm not going to ask anyone. I'm not going to have conversation because I am emotionally not intelligent. And to talk about it, well, I might just roll up in a ball and die. It's like, because that makes me feel uncomfortable. And so again, it's gotten to the point where you're like, I don't even care anymore, because you don't give anything. You're not giving me anything because you act like you don't care. Like a relationship there's no emotional connection, you don't care. That's what it feels like. And then when you ask, you seem as if you're being dramatic or over the top. So it's like the relationship really doesn't go anywhere. I always think I'm picking up the triggers and I'm not. And I don't know why, but I'm just going to go with it. And we'll pick up the triggers after. I need time. So I feel like, again, this person is, if they're thinking about everything. And so if you're like, I feel like they're not doing shit. It's like, well, again, it's a very slow process, because them needing time isn't just, looking at the relationship, but it's like this person overthinks. When a person has a spiritual block, they overthink, they get overstimulated. We don't know why they get so overstimulated, again, except for that they have feelings. When we look at the inner child wounds, we'll know why this person is the way that they are. It's like, we'll also know why you attracted this person, which is the most important information, because you're like, regardless, who gives a fuck, because I'm not getting shit out of this person. It's like we're in Mexican standstill. They're stubborn. They don't give me anything because, again, they're not emotionally intelligent. So it's just easier for them to act like they don't care than it actually is to have a conversation, because they don't know what to do unless someone else is doing the entire relationship. So now that they actually have to think about it, don't expect it to be a very fast process. Again, dominate. So it's, again, like this person only knows how to be in a relationship that is like codependent attachment, where they dominate, which isn't good, because it's not like the dominate that's like, oh, hello, it's like not that dominate. Instead it's the dominate, like, it's my way or the highway. You're not allowed really an opinion. You have to go along with whatever I give you and whatever I'm doing, whenever I'm doing it. And so it's, again, in that it dominates your emotions, it dominates your time. And there's a sense of almost like feeling degraded being connected to someone that's like that. And they don't see it that way. That's the irony. But again, a person that has a spiritual block, sees everything from a distorted perception. If again they have a second chakra imbalance, they overdo it or they underdo it. You're like, you never get it right. It's either you over or under. And that's what it feels like. So, and then what it does is it triggers your like abandonment issues. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you had parents leave you. What it means is like emotionally, you never had people show up, and it's like be coming in and out, doing what they want when they want, not taking your feelings into consideration, but still holding on to you, but still wanting that connection and still expecting to have that place in your life. That's the irony. So I feel like, again, it's reliving certain childhood wounds, and not childhood, just childhood wounds, because when we have those abandonment issues in childhood, they play out within other relationships that we have. And so, boundaries, like feeling like you asked for certain things and your boundaries obviously weren't kept. These were your triggered again. And then when you would tell this person what you needed, they again would judge you. However, but then give you mixed messages like you're their soulmate and actually feeling that connection on top of it. So we have to go deeper and we have to say, well, what kind of relationship? What are we supposed to learn? What is this person actually thinking of doing? We never know what these cards are going to bring out. But as you can see, it's a pretty big deck and it's mixed. Like where this could be a complete, like a relationship that's just all about healing, or it could be a relationship that is really about this person not just healing but coming back and actually grounding what they learned, because that's when we really learn the spiritual lesson. Otherwise we tend to know it in our mind. That's why you tend to get the same energy. You're like, why do I attract the same type of person? You attract the same type of person because the spiritual lesson needs to be fully integrated, and fully integrated isn't just knowing it with the mind. You actually have to see yourself in the situation that created the trauma in a different way to totally integrate the spiritual lesson. So that's why this deck is big, because sometimes it's just spiritual. The universe brought us together for a reason. I am discovering what these reasons are. So again, this person said that they need time. Remember, it's not that easy for them because it's like logically they would have taken off a long time ago. What they see is that they can't because there is a spiritual connection. However, this doesn't logically make sense to this person. This person lives more from a survival perspective. So they're like, they're continually fighting it because it's like, is it really enough? Just because I have this connection, they look for reasons why it won't work out. So now they're like, okay, well, the universe probably brought us together for a reason. There must be a reason why, even though I'm not a spiritual person, there must be like something to it because I can't stop thinking about you. I see signs and synchronicities. I'm trying to figure out why. Again, what is soulmate is not enough for this person. It's like soulmate, that's like saying hocus pocus, make a decision, and they're like, I don't feel comfortable with that. It's like, I don't know why I feel all these feelings. Relationships tend to not work out. I don't know if I want to have that type of relationship where it's equal. I like dominating. I like being in control. And again, because they don't feel safe. So again, they're going to overdo it. And it's not going to feel comfortable for you. What feels comfortable for them because, again, of their trauma. I miss you. Let's both stop running away. It's like, and that's again, it's like, I don't feel like you're running away. I feel like you're just not giving in to this person. I feel like they would let's stop running away so you come back to me because I miss you and I know that you miss me. But the thing is, you're like, I don't miss you enough to take you back the way that you were. You have to change. And that's the thing. This person's like, I don't really want to change. That's the issue. But understand nobody does. When a person really, when someone loves, they have to surrender their ego, and that's not an easy process for someone that has abandonment issues. That tends, that's why they abandon everybody. They abandon everyone because they have abandonment issues. So it's like they would rather not have a deep relationship. They would rather have be party time, like be with somebody when they feel like, how they feel like, when they want, instead of those deep relationships, because they don't really work out. But that's why relationships don't work out, because they go into it saying, well, relationships don't work out, so I'd rather just be on the surface. So they create a self-fulfilling prophecy. So that's why what with you, they're like, I still can't shake it. It's like I still am thinking about you. I still have feelings for you. However, I'm stubborn. And again, which is how this reading started, which is like, it's like I'm not going to make the move because I tend to want things my way. I don't want to seem vulnerable. I don't want to seem weak. But I do miss you because I still have feelings for you. I can't control this. And they can't, because soulmates like this that transcend time and space, there is unconditional love. This person can't control unconditional love because it's the only energy that you can't control. You can't destroy it. You can't manipulate it. It just is. And that's why they're like, I don't know what to do with this energy. It's like I don't want this energy, but I don't know what to do with it because I also don't want to let it go. We are alchemists. We transform fear into love and shadow into light. So again, there's the spiritual reason why this person is in your life is, again, you represent like love, but you also represent fear to this person, because they again have to become vulnerable. They don't want to be vulnerable. This is why they created that life, that I'm not going to become like monogamous. I'm going to be the type of player type person, not really have connections with anyone. It's safer this way for me. But it's like, again, love, we're not in charge. There's a bigger reason to why we're down here. We're down here to learn we're not separate from God, the universe, which the vibe is unconditional love. That's just the energy. We wouldn't know what that was. So we get these spiritual lessons and these people that we're like, I have unconditional love for you. I don't know why, and I really shouldn't. There's a lot of times that's what we say when we're dealing with a person that has all these shadows. We say, I shouldn't love you. I shouldn't even like you. But I do, because you see that part of them. However, what they're doing isn't in alignment. So this person knows you're being stubborn, like, I'm not giving in until I get what I want. And they just thought by now that you would have caved. And now it's like, again, it's putting them into a spot of being like, well, what kind of relationship is this anyway? It's like, I now I need answers. But see, that's how God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, is sneaky. It's like wants this person to heal themselves, because again, the bigger reason to why we're here is to be the energy of unconditional love. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like it always plays out with one. I close my eyes and I imagine you're here with me. It feels so real. I'm beginning to understand this is what it means to be in the 5D with you. So I feel like this person has been like reading spiritual material, learning about spiritual material things more, again, trying to find answers, but inevitably it's bringing them deeper into themselves. See, God is using you, the universe is using you as a catalyst for this person to heal, because they wouldn't volunteer to do that. Again, they're terrified. But we're all down here to be alchemists, really, to transmute that negative energy. Words have hurt me in the past, and that's why I fear talking to you. That's why I don't talk to you. That's why I hold back. That's why it's, again, not emotionally intelligent. Again, basing this current relationship on all other relationships, because that's how they've just decided everybody's this. So this is how I'm going to be safe, this is how I'm going to live, this is how I'm going to do it, and kind of like a robot. And that is not possible. This relationship is forcing this person, how the hell did we get here? How are we in this Mexican standstill for like however long? For some of you it's been a few months, for some of you it's going on a few years. It's like where it's like how I can't stop thinking about you because I can feel you. I can feel you. I feel that you're right here. However, you're not in my life. You're not doing anything. I don't know what you're doing. Is it my imagination that they're getting at? Is it, or is it, do I really feel like that this is real? It's like, what do I have to do? How did we get here? And what they're seeing is you don't communicate. You didn't say how you felt. You gave, you gave nothing. You gave nothing to Virgo. That's what happened. They're saying, what I didn't give anything. But see, they wouldn't have even looked at their behavior if you weren't stubborn. See, now you got their attention. Before, they weren't even looking. They didn't see. You had to be like this in order to get their attention. And it took a long time. I'm realizing this connection is something special and worth treasuring. And that's because it's like, well, it's like if I can't shut it off, it's like it's important. Now, we'll see if they're going to do something. I'm feeling controlled by people around me and I don't like it. It's pushing me to find my power again. And that's what happens too. When a person stops dating and they just have one night stands, they're not emotionally getting anything. It's a physical act. It's feeding their ego for a second, for that moment, but it's not real. And the spirit knows that it's not real. So what happens is that this person gives way too much to other people in their life, like family members, friends, people at work, just to emotionally get something back. And the bottom line is, it's like that's not a real relationship either, because relationships are something that happen over time, that you build an emotional connection with people over time. So if you're just sticking around doing for everybody to waste time, well, then people are just going to, treat you for what they want to utilize you for. So what this person is seeing is emotionally, they're not getting anything anywhere, but they made their life that way. They made their life this way. I feel your energy around me and I wonder, are you thinking of me too? And that's what I was saying. I said this person like would rather not think about you, but they're stubborn and they can't control, again, this connection. So it's pushing them to look into the spiritual part of life. It's pushing them to look into like their behavior. Why are you not talking? How did things get this way? Why? It's like, and they're remembering, well, it's like, I thought you were toxic, but really I was toxic because I didn't communicate. I don't communicate, and everything else that they did. But it's a very slow process is what I see here. And then I always felt I had a higher calling in life. And so, again, this person somehow feels like you are part of that. So it could be actually to do something, or that you're placed in this person's life to help them heal, to help them on their path. So they feel that this is a spiritual connection. I don't see them doing anything right now. I see them thinking a lot about it, but mainly because, again, you're not giving them anything. You've been in separation from them for a while. They perceive that you're being stubborn. You're not. It's that they wanted everything their way. They didn't want anything like in the right way. They're starting to look at their behavior. But like I said, it's a very slow process. So the best that we can do with this this reading is say, why did you attract this person into your life? And this might not be your reading. Understand, not every reading is going to be for everyone. It's a collective reading, but it was really for my winner. And I don't know if my winner ever came on. The irony, she made it for 10 o'clock. So let's see. You're a mirror of whom what comes into your life. So why did you attract this person? Suppression. Well, again, the person wanted to dominate. That's the same energy. These are inner child wound. Suppression could just mean you had a very strict upbringing. The way that you wanted to express yourself, you couldn't. You might have had issues in the family. Some of you did. It's like, I really couldn't do what I wanted to do. I had to, be there for my mother. I had to do chores. I had to be the role of my father. I could have, there's a lot of reasons why we can't go out when we're, kids, to go out and really find ourselves, even in adolescence, right? It's again, we might say it's the money, or it's the situation. Nevertheless, it's a lot of times we can get stuck in our situation and say, I couldn't do anything because of the situation. A lot of times we wind up utilizing that situation and it brings us into our path. So stubbornness. Yes, Alex. And then organized chaos. So being connected to someone that, again, it doesn't, it's a little bit manic when it comes to relationships. Someone that really needs to control and dominate. They're always overthinking with everything, getting in their own way with relationships. They're someone that creates a lot of chaos. I feel like, again, if you were brought up in an environment that didn't let you express yourself because, again, of strict families, manipulation could be a form of, again, suppression. It doesn't matter how the suppression is done. Usually people don't outright suppress you unless, it's a really abusive relationship. Usually people like to gaslight. They're passive aggressive. But nevertheless, it's still a form of suppression, making you worry more about the relationship, less and less in your own life, and less time and energy to be able to create your own life. So yeah, it's a form of suppression. It's a way I'm going to have this person, I'm going to have my cake and eat it too. It's like, that's what the energy actually feels like with this. Because a lot of times when we are with someone that brings up childhood wounds of suppression and organized chaos, it could be, I grew up in an alcoholic family. I grew up with one parent. I grew up with a very angry parent. It's, again, that seems very chaotic to a child. It would be very suppressing to a child. The whole point is what became normal in our minds, because it was every day, was actually created a shadow that it became subconscious to us. So what happened is the universe brings you a person that recreates that energy, that familiarity, which, again, a lot of times we go for what's familiar more than what's a better choice, or better more than what, because of what we associate, unless we heal. So it's, again, becoming aware, where I feel like, again, doesn't say, well, it's obviously doesn't say which way or another how you feel. However, I feel like the kicker is when you're with someone that acts very narcissistic like this, there's so many different emotions that you would have. But the whole point was that it brought you back to a place of familiar, but also a place that was not comfortable to you, and that's the whole thing. And so really what it was that I condone physical touch as more emotional, right? Emotional. Whether someone was like there for you. This person obviously wasn't, and being suppressed, being told pretty much whatever your ideas were, what you wanted to do was not what you should do. You should do what I'm telling you to do. And then, this craziness of imbalance because there were problems in the home where, again, if parents just were going through their own struggles, or if you had parents that really weren't very emotional and you weren't emotional, again, it's going to be different for everyone, but it means emotionally you didn't get what you needed. So again, it brought you back to that uncomfortable time where it's like, well, this is just horrible, like I don't want to relive my childhood, what I felt within my childhood. So I always like to ask spirit, because what we see here is a person that is like, if they're going to get it, they're getting it at a snail's pace. It's like, will they come back? It's saying, like, again, this person thinks that this is a important relationship. However, they didn't treat you well. They didn't treat you well. It's again, and now it's like there's so much time and separation with just being stubborn that it's like, like you're so disappointed in this person. I don't know whether you can even see them the same way. They'd have to come back and fix it. And so this person's starting to realize about the connection, but they have to get over their inadequacy because that's why they created all this BS to begin with. So again, just someone that's not on your vibration, someone that's very selfish, obviously, is not on your vibration. And it's because they're really like, I like probably were sheltered. It's like, grow up in a family that's imbalanced and then don't go out and discover your own path, find yourself. It's like, and then just go into relationships and not have any real good relationships. This person needs to heal. Otherwise, they're always going to be more consumed with what's going on in their own psyche than actually trying to be in a relationship because they're not capable. So this is about you. I always ask spirit, well, when you're connected to someone that obviously they're going to get it eventually, but spirit would never want you to sit here and wait for this person. It's again, was more of a spiritual, like, reason why this person came into your life, and it was to awaken certain wounds, because the whole point is that we're a clear conduit for spirit to speak. And if we have a lot of shadows and blocks, we can't we can't really co-create the best way. So this is goodness. I overcome my imperfections, polish my character, and feed on the positive. I free myself, allow my goodness to manifest and become a source of joy through gentleness. I offer unconditional support, understanding, and love to myself and others. So this was, again, growing up in a family where emotionally you didn't get what you needed and that it was chaos. What spirit's saying is, know your worth. Know your worth. It's like what you think that you have imperfections, like this person didn't come in giving you enough. And it should have never even gotten this far because this person never came in and gave enough. And it was because, again, growing up the way that you grew up without that emotional support, we need that as children to feel, to know our worth, kind of. Again, otherwise, then as children, we feel as if there's something wrong with us, even though there isn't. That's why we inherit those spiritual karmic wounds. Again, if our parents had problems, but creating healthy relationships, balanced relationships, we inherit the same thing because we didn't have good role model a lot of times. So what spirit's saying is, this relationship was for you to know your own goodness, and so that you could again become a source of, you know, unconditional love. so that you can attract what you love. So this connection was just to help clear you so that you could again become more of a magnet of who you are today. It's almost like your mind knows who you are today. So you had to, again, by being stubborn and not giving in to this person, even though you're like, I have a connection to you, I have feelings for you, but I'm not going to, you know, be in a one-sided relationship. I'm not going to be in a relationship with someone that dominates me, that doesn't care about my feelings, my needs, my wants. I'm not going to do it. It's like, and this person over like pride almost, like knew what they were doing but still like didn't do the right thing and couldn't do the right thing, and mainly didn't do it because again of their own like insecurity of who they want to appear to be is almost more important than who they really are and being in the relationship. And that's because in that it's like, well, I get to do what I want when I want, I don't have to commit to anything, and it's a safer space for me. So that's why again they're overthinking about the relationship is, and by the time I feel like they're actually going to figure it out, you're going to be long gone and you're going to be like, like you should have gotten it a long time ago. It's like, and part of them too, I feel like, is for them to see that, for them to see like you didn't choose right. You didn't choose right, you didn't do right. That's your karma. I'll see you next lifetime. It's like maybe you'll get it right then. But that's really what this connection is, and I don't really feel like they're going to do anything. Does anyone have any questions? Did my winner ever come on? Does anyone want to know anything? I'm going to open up the floor for a few minutes before I wind it down, because it's been a really long day and I am really tired. And I don't know, did my winner ever come on? Does anyone have any questions? Because I said that I would answer some questions for people before I closed off. If you guys don't have any questions, I'm going to go. I don't know if my winner came on. Now I feel complete. Thank you. Thank you, Gloria. I'm so glad that you support the channel. You have to always, I believe, integrate the spiritual lesson. A soul's tie, again, you can. It's like because it's of unconditional love. It's not just of negative energy. So you have to transmute that negative energy. And once you again learn why this person's in your life, why, what you need to learn from them, usually you, that's how you dissolve it. Otherwise it's really hard. Remember, it's like, it's how many, hey Matt, like if you're putting in like a lot of time and energy and thinking about a person, that's what does it. It's like a cord. Psychic cords are, it can't be one-sided. It's that it's your thoughts and your emotions. And so once you see the person differently, then it's like, well, I don't have the same feelings for you anymore because the fantasy is gone. And that's what I believe. I believe that when you meet your soulmate, there's an essence of, wow, like you're a kindred spirit, you're my soulmate. It's like I feel so much love for you, and it's almost like they're this perfect person that we're so attracted to, that we're like, oh my God, it's like you're my person, before we actually took the time to get to know them. And then what happens is we see who this person is. And then, it's like after a while, the person doesn't show up for you. They don't show up for you. They don't show up for you. And then it's like, oh, you can't really unsee what you saw. Well, and that's because it means some that's also because you're open to it, Omira. Part of that is because you're open to it, but it's also because this person is like, I was used to being in your life for a while, and being able to come in and out. Well, that's the thing. It's like if you find it hard to move on, it's because emotionally you're still getting something from them, or your reptilian mind is like, that was a sense of passion, and there's no other passion here. So I am not going to let go of that person. See, again, I'm not saying that this person isn't thinking of you, but it's again, a person can think of you but if your energy is closed off to them, they're not getting anything. And when a person doesn't get anything, it dies, or it forces this person to move forward. Hello, Gloria. Like it's funny how your thing lights up green. I love it. um, but you understand what I'm saying? It's because like emotionally, the reptilian mind's a survival mind. And if emotionally you're in a desert and you're not getting anything, but you remembered having like a deep connection with someone, a passionate connection with someone, your mind is not going to say, okay, I'm just going to dispose of this person. Your mind's not going to say, it's going to say no, because it's better to have dysfunction than it is to have nothing. Just like it's better, the mind says it's better for us to see ourselves as dysfunctional than it is to see us dead. So we're going to say, we're going to take the lesser of the two evils. Because again, that reptilian mind's all about the survival mind. So it's again not saying that this person isn't thinking of you, it's saying that you're open to it. And so what you would have to do, Andrea and Omira, is you have to then put your energy into like finding things that you really, really love. And I'm not talking about like little hobbies, really like love, where you put in that much time and effort and energy. And that's not an overnight thing, because that's also like getting past the reptilian mind, where the reptilian mind's going to say, no, you want a person to give you this type of love, instead of, no, I have to give myself love first. And that's by finding myself and giving myself the things that I need. Because it's not, as again, that emotional support that we're still looking for that we didn't get. So that's why your mind is still like, nope, haven't learned that spiritual lesson. So that person is still going to be corded up to you, and you're still going to feel them. And it's going to be a struggle for you to move on, because you still have love for this person, because you just can't get rid of the love. Remember, the person that's a soulmate, there's that they have that unconditional love cord, but it's corroded. It's like they also have all the other behaviorisms. That's the problem. And so, like you said, your mind is not going to want to look at all the problems. It's going to say, I'm sure I can work it out with the other part, instead of invest in yourself. So that's why I'm saying, hey, Utapa. So that's why I'm saying, like, the most important thing is for you to like find that. And that's even a process. I'm not going to lie, because it's like eating sugar. It's like if you always had soda and then someone gives you diet soda, even though the diet soda may be better for you because you'll lose weight, you're still going to be like, I don't like the taste of this shit. You have to get used to it. It's like anything else. It's like you have to get used to it. Thank you, Uthapa. I know I look crazy, right? I'm like, I'm looking at myself and I'm like, oh my God, I look so crazy. I gotta fluff my hair. My life, 40 years, believe me, is a long time of in and out. I mean, that whole time you're being conditioned. Oh, thank you so much, Andrea. And I'm so glad that it does. I mean, it's important to be able to navigate your relationships. It's important to know what you do because really, I mean, right now there's a spiritual war on consciousness. And that's, you know, everything is telling us to fear. Everything is telling us that there's not enough, that there's not, we're not going to have enough money, that we're not going to be safe, we're not going to be. And so, really, we have the power to create our lives. We have to continually remember that. So if we're not creating our life the way that we want to, we have to say, why is that? Because we're in charge of our life. What are we supposed to be learning? And that's the beauty of what we know today, opposed to what our parents knew and our ancestors knew, right? Because they were taught, um, by religion and dogmatic practice, but not really by spiritually. And even then, like, religion is very like structured and, you know, teaches you really to think a certain way and to be a certain way. And this is not that. This is um, to understand how we unconsciously are creating. Well, that's really what yeah, you do love yourself more. And that's but where you're grounded in that, and that's why this person sees you as stubborn. It's like you're stubborn. It's like, no, you're stubborn. It's like I have a right to be stubborn. And they're like, but I know that you have feelings. It's like, well, guess what? You're ruining those feelings. And that's what they didn't expect. They got big head. And they feel because again, at one time you showed them and they can still feel that connection. So it's not easy because people we teach people, but we teach them unconsciously and we don't really know. Thank you, Utapa. Look at that. So I just think that it's thank you so much. Thank you guys so much for the just so generous. I don't think I've ever gotten like little stickers. I think it is the first time that I've gotten stickers before. Thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions? Did I answer everyone's questions? I love you guys so much. I need this love right now too because life is really hard right now. Like with my husband being in hospice and everything, it's just like a whirlwind, and I really don't know what life is going to look like, after you know everything. So it's like I'm so glad that you guys are, as much as you say that I help you guys, you help me, believe me. Like with everything that I'm going through right now. So like I said, I just want to know, does anybody um like I said, have any questions? If you don't, I'm going to go, but I'm going to be on again tomorrow. I'm sorry, Omira, that you missed it, but I'm going to be on again tomorrow. And if you want to do a coaching, just reach out to me, and I'll meet up with you tomorrow. Um, so I'll do that right now because, like I said, I'm trying to stay busy myself, keep my head busy. Um, but thank you guys. I love you guys. Otherwise, if no one has any questions, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, definitely, Omira. Definitely tell me what the time. Reach out to me. Don't forget. All right. I love you guys and thank you. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.